everybody. So now we're going to talk about Drupal and Amazon Web Services and teeny tiny bit of MariaDB. We covered them pretty adequately in our presentation, so this is more of a demo of Drupal and Amazon Web Services than anything else. So Drupal is a content management system and a very powerful one at that. It's been around for a couple decades now and has only become stronger and grown more robust over the last 2 years than probably the previous 18. Drupal is a tool, a front-end web application tool that allows you to build and construct a site around a powerful database using a modular configuration. So not every feature for every person, but you pick and choose the features that apply to your business, and you use those modules in the development of your site as opposed to getting an application that does everything for everyone. So that's definitely a benefit to it. As a result though, there's a learning curve. Drupal, Bitnami, who is the developers of Drupal, do not develop all of the modules. A lot of them are developed by their very large community of developers, and that can make learning to work with these modules and configuring these modules more difficult than a WordPress or a simpler site building tool, but less functionality. So it definitely is simple, but there's a learning curve even for the simplest of configurations on Drupal. They do have a great setup to support all types of databases, all types of visual design. Really, if you can dream it up, you can accomplish it in Drupal, and that's really one of their big benefits. So they do support more languages than most web building services also, which is pretty profound and definitely a big deal. They also are flexible. Their API works with object-oriented code as well as at PHP standards, which is big for web application development and full stack network development. So Drupal 8, which is the current version of Drupal, just recently replaced 7, was built by, as you can see, 3,200 contributors, and they do not all work on the payroll at Bitnami. 1,228 companies and a really large community of people who are very passionate about the software. So that's one of Drupal's very strong points. So I just wanted to give you a quick look into the community and just what it has available without going into it. Groups, meetups, chats, Planet Drupal. I guess it's a whole other social network. They also have commercial support if you do want to pay for enterprise level support. Becoming a Drupal organization, forums. They have social media groups, and they're all active and full of Drupal developers. So definitely a good community to get involved with. They also now have, I won't spend too much time on this, they have DrupalCon coming up in Baltimore if you're interested. So moving on, Drupal's marketplace also is a really great way to look into how successful they've been. These are services that are offered on Drupal. They go on forever. You could be here all day. Hosting, recommended hosting. I mean, really, you can host Drupal on any web server. Supporting technologies. So there's quite a bit. It's an impressive list of modules, services, hosting compatible hosting sites, and supporting technologies that Drupal 8 works with, and that's definitely a benefit for them. So I just wanted to give you a quick look into how we set up our Drupal server. on Amazon Web Services, which is a lot like Google Platform. It's a cloud-based computing and storage service, and so much more. It's definitely extremely robust, and there's a lot of functionality that can terrify even the most seasoned full stack developer. So this is actually our dashboard, and how we set up Drupal on Amazon Web Services. We used Maria database. There's actually 4 supported databases for Drupal on Amazon Web Services: MariaDB, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and one more that Amazon Aurora, which is Amazon's database program, are all supported with Drupal. So this is how we have it set up. So just to give you a brief overview without putting you to sleep, we have our virtual machine. So let's go in here. So this is our VPC dashboard. This is actually the computer that's up and running, our network connection that's up and running our virtual machine. The EC2 is actually the machine itself. So let's see if we can get some more info in here. I can't, because I forgot how to. Sorry, it's in there somewhere. But this is actually the instance that's running the virtual machine. So this is a physical device. So this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how complex the setup for this kind of was. And then we have our database. So this is MariaDB. And this is, it gives you status, the usage of your CPU, which is a scalable cost on Amazon Web Services, so you have to keep an eye on that. The cost of database, and some networking elements over here. Subnets are networking, so there's kind of a complex networking setup that goes along with this in order to get your security group set up. And this really prevents people from coming in outside of who you allow to see your web server. So Amazon, just like Google Platform, does have that locked down. And then we're running a program called Beanstalk. It's actually called Amazon Elastic Beanstalk. And what it's responsible for is updates, deployments, monitoring, and basically running all the hardware that Drupal and MariaDB are sitting on top of. So this is probably the most important of them all. The logging in here will show you, when you turn it on, what's going on with your website. You can also get to your external URL from here. So this is how we're actually going to go into our website. This can be branded, just like all websites can. This is just kind of our freebie. So now I want to show you the site we stood up. So the back-end configuration on Amazon Web Services was a 3 or 4 hour process. There's a very intricate technical back-end components, most of that networking related. And but the actual standing up the Drupal site itself took maybe 35 seconds. And that's including the creation of the database. So there is a backend database to this site already that includes all the standard fields that are available with Drupal's standard template. So this is the site. A lot like WordPress, this is all administrative, so you wouldn't see this as an end user on the site. But this is a super, super basic site, obviously. It's general search bar, tools, nice background. But as you can see, very similar to WordPress, but maybe a little bit more archaic in how you can actually configure this. And that's really because Drupal is built with modules, and there's no modules on this layout right now. It's bare bones. So the content can grow and grow and grow and grow. It's barely there the way it is right now. If you kind of dig deeper into this, into the extend here, or if it gives you a little bit of a, here we go. So these are just the built-in modules, right? and not all of them are even active. Like enables banning of IP addresses, so you could ban people from certain zone parts of the world, or just if you were getting attacked by a certain IP address, you could ban them. Color schema changes, comment moderation. So there's a lot of actual stuff built in, and then if you don't find what you're looking for, you can download additional modules, and this is really where Drupal shines. There are currently 36,764 modules available to install to do various things in Drupal. So very, very powerful software once you dig deep into how all of these modules work and get them up and running on the site. So I just wanted to go through some examples. This page is available on Drupal's website. This is not everyone who uses Drupal. This is their most impressive list. And I picked out the ones that I thought were really great. So this is MIT's Media Lab. This is built in Drupal. As you can see, it's got a responsive design. Very attractive, very intuitive website, multiple layers, ticker over here, trending, they have a search. You can create a login, and they have a pretty substantial membership here. So pretty cool. Almost exactly what you'd be looking for. Same thing with Studio Brussels. So this is actually an artist website for Studio in Brussels. So not my native language, but I get the gist of it, and I think it's a really cool format for musicians and displaying their artistic talents. You can kind of dive deeper a little bit here. My internet cooperates. There we go. So media. Maybe not the best resolution for the page, but you get the idea. Tags, so very similar to kind of what we were discussing for the artist profiles. So I thought that would be a cool site. This is a big boy in the room. Sony uses Drupal. So Sony around the world uses Drupal for their site development, and obviously they're big on media content because they're a media content provider. So PlayStation is one of the big boys that they develop for on these sites. So just wanted to kind of show that. Definitely very impressive. And then huge Zappos, super successful e-commerce site is built on Drupal. So we're talking online transactions, security that goes along with those, as well as inventory, shopping carts, user registration, account information. So there's so many layers to Zappos and this size of an e-commerce site, and that is also built in Drupal. So that's kind of the overview of Drupal. Very impressive service, and one of our alternatives.